The Razer DeathAdder V4 Pro, Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2, Endgame Gear OP1 8KV2, Cyrox V8, and BenQ Zoe FK2DW are the most popular gaming mouse of 2025. But which is the absolute best? We are going to compare them to each other and score them in various categories, with some categories holding more weight than others. In the end, we'll decide which is the best one based on the final score, and we will declare the absolute winner. Let's dive in. First, we're going to compare them on the sensor precision category, which has a multiplier of 2. The Razer DeathAdder V4 Pro offers exceptionally responsive and reliable tracking that translated to my highest accuracy ever. But its extreme sensitivity requires a significant adjustment period to avoid overshooting your targets, making it a powerful tool that you need to tame to truly master for 9.1 out of 10. Coming in with a similarly premium feel, the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2 provides remarkably accurate sensor performance and incredibly low click latency that feels amazing for competitive play. Although the real-world performance gain at its highest polling rates feels marginal compared to its direct competitors for an 8.5 out of 10. The Endgame Gear OP1 8KV2 is a monster on paper with its 8,000 Hz polling rate and a top-tier sensor that delivers fantastic tracking, though I noticed some minor but perceptible cursor deviation when making fast movements at higher counts per inch settings, earning it an 8.0 out of 10. Next up, the Cyrox V8 delivers absolutely stellar, top-of-the-line tracking performance with its advanced optical sensor and one of the lowest latencies I have ever tested, providing a flawless and jitter-free experience that rivals mice costing significantly more, though its driver software feels less polished than the mainstream brands for a 9.6 out of 10. Finally, the BenQ Zoe FK2DW is a classic for a reason, providing a stable and perfectly predictable sensor experience that feels incredibly reliable in-game. However, it lacks the cutting-edge specifications and higher polling rates of the other mice on this list, which holds it back in terms of raw responsiveness for a 7.2 out of 10. For pure sensor precision combined with outstanding value, Cyrox V8 takes the win with its 9.6 out of 10 because it delivers truly flawless, top-tier performance that's on par with or better than the most expensive mice out there. Next, we are going to compare them on the comfort and ergonomics category, which has a multiplier of 1.5x. The Razer DeathAdder V4 Pro has an outstanding right-handed ergonomic shape that feels great for a palm grip, but I found it's really only suitable for larger hands, and there's some minor creaking if you squeeze it forcefully during intense moments. Overall, it feels incredibly comfortable if it fits your hand, earning it an 8.5 out of 10. Moving on, the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2 offers a fantastic, safe shape with a gentle slope that provides a great balance of control and comfort without forcing your hand into one specific position. Although there's a tiny bit of side play in the scroll wheel, and you can feel some flex if you squeeze the sides very hard, its premium-feeling matte plastic body is impressively solid, and for that, it gets a 9.2 out of 10. The Endgame Gear OP1 8KV2 is a smaller mouse that feels incredibly nimble and perfect for my claw grip. But if you have larger hands or prefer a palm grip, you'll likely find it a bit cramped. While the main clicks are delightfully crisp and responsive, the scroll wheel feels merely adequate, which leads me to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Then we have the Cyrox V8, an insanely lightweight mouse with a soft matte finish that feels premium and a very sturdy body for its weight. Its symmetrical design has an aggressive rear hump made specifically for claw grip users, but this specialized shape doesn't feel as accommodating for palm or fingertip grips, especially if you have bigger hands, so it lands at an 8.0 out of 10. Finally, the BenQ Zoe FK2DW feels incredibly robust with that classic Zowie build quality, and I really appreciate the ledge on the right side where I can rest my ring finger with my relaxed claw grip. However, it feels noticeably heavier than the others here, and the scroll wheel is positioned a bit too far back for my liking, which can be a real drawback in some games, so it gets a 7.0 out of 10. With its incredibly balanced and gentle ergonomic shape that feels both supportive and controlled, the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2 takes the win here with 9.2 points. Next, we are going to compare them on the customization and features category, which has a multiplier of 2x. The Razer DeathAdder V4 Pro gives me incredible control through its software, allowing for fully remappable buttons and a hypershift feature that adds a whole secondary layer of commands, though it completely lacks any RGB lighting, which feels like a missed opportunity for aesthetic personalization at this premium level. I rated a 9.2 out of 10. With the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2, I found that while the software is clean and reliable for basic adjustments, it feels a bit dated and lacks the deeper macro capabilities or the secondary function layers that I've grown to love on other mice in this lineup. I rated an 8.0 out of 10. I absolutely love the mod-friendly design of the Endgame Gear OP1 8KV2, which is unique in that it encourages you to physically swap out the main button switches, but the software itself is extremely minimalist, offering very little for button remapping or creating custom profiles, which is a definite trade-off. I rated a 7.5 out of 10. The Xerox V8 attempts to pack in a lot of features with its programmable buttons, but I found its customization software to be clunky and far from user-friendly, making the whole experience of setting up custom commands feel more like a frustrating task than a useful feature. I rated a 6.5 out of 10. Finally, the BenQ Zowie FK2DW champions a completely software-free, plug-and-play philosophy, which is a massive plus for simplicity in moving between computers, but this comes at the significant cost of having zero ability to remap buttons or set macros, which is a deal-breaker if you depend on personalized setups. I rated a 7.0 out of 10. Thanks to its incredibly versatile hypershift function and comprehensive button remapping capabilities, the Razer DeathAdder V4 Pro takes the win with a score of 9.2 out of 10, offering the most powerful and flexible software suite among the contenders. Next, we're going to compare them on the DPI range and adjustment category, which has a multiplier of 1.5. The Razer DeathAdder V4 Pro boasts an incredible 45,000 dots per inch sensor and a helpful sensitivity matcher feature to perfectly copy your old mouse's feel. But this massive number feels more like a marketing gimmick, since I rarely go above 3,200 dots per inch, and all adjustments are locked behind the Synapse software. I'm giving it a 9.0 out of 10. When I use the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2, I love the advanced software features like independent X and Y axis sensitivity, but the baffling decision to remove the dedicated dots per inch button entirely to save a tiny amount of weight makes on-the-fly adjustments a frustrating dive into the G Hub software, a major inconvenience for a mouse at this price point. This gets a 6.5 out of 10. 5 out. With the Endgame Gear OP1 8K V2, I found the level of control to be absolutely phenomenal, offering insanely precise adjustments in 10 dots per inch increments and a physical button on the bottom to cycle the 8,000 Hz polling rate, even though the finest dots per inch tuning still requires its software. It earns a 9.5 out of 10. The Xerox V8 delivers top-tier performance with its flagship sensor and 8,000 Hz polling rate, and I found its web-based software to be a refreshing change that doesn't require any installation, though some of the more advanced settings were not explained very well, leaving me to guess their function. I rate this an 8.0 out of 10. Finally, the BenQ Zowie FK2DW is the master of simplicity, as I could change both the dots per inch and polling rate using physical switches on the bottom with no software needed. But this convenience comes at the cost of being stuck with only 4 preset sensitivity levels, which feels incredibly limiting compared to the others. This earns a 7.0 out of 10. For its unmatched level of granular control, the Endgame Gear OP1 8K V2 takes the win here with a score of 9.5 for offering incredibly precise software customization paired with the convenience of a physical polling rate switch. Finally, we're going to compare them on the value for money category, which has a multiplier of 3. The Razer DeathAdder V4 Pro packs some of the most advanced technology I've ever used, including an incredible 8,000 Hz polling rate and a new sensor, but its steep price and features that offer diminishing returns for the average player mean you are paying a premium for performance you may not even notice, giving it a score of 8.0 out of 10. Next up, the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2 is an outstandingly lightweight mouse with a build quality that feels amazing in the hand, though it feels like a very safe and incremental update over its legendary predecessor without enough new features to fully justify its high price tag when newer, cheaper competitors exist. So I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 10. I was shocked by the Endgame Gear OP1 8K V2, which delivers uncompromising, elite-tier performance with an 8,000 Hz polling rate and one of the best sensors on the market in a wired package that feels incredible. Although its smaller shape might not be for everyone, it earns a staggering 9.5 out of 10. The Xerox V8 is a true giant killer, offering top-tier wireless performance that rivals mice double its price with its ultralight design and flawless sensory. But my experience was soured by its browser-based software and an updater that my security software flagged as a major concern, forcing me to rate it an 8.5 out of 10. Finally, the BenQ Zowie FK2DW offers that legendary safe shape and fantastic build quality Zowie is known for, but it falls behind with its subpar battery life and the lack of modern optical switches, making it feel a bit dated and a tough sell on value compared to the others we've looked at today, which is why it gets a 6.5 out of 10. With a score of 9.5 out of 10, the Endgame Gear OP1 8K V2 takes the crown by delivering elite-tier wired performance and a top-tier sensor at a price point that is simply impossible to ignore. The results of our comparison show each product shines in its own way. The Razer DeathAdder V4 Pro stands out with its score of 86.85. Its combination of advanced sensor precision, exceptional customization options, and competitive value for money make it a powerhouse for gamers seeking performance. I've personally experienced its impressive responsiveness and versatility in various gaming scenarios, and it feels both natural and exceptionally precise in the heat of battle, making it a top choice for any serious gamer. looking to elevate their gameplay. As for the other contestants, each brings something unique to the table. The endgame gear OP1 8K V2 follows closely with an impressive 85.0, delivering elite tier performance that's hard to beat, especially at its price point. The Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2 scored 79.05, offering a fantastic ergonomic design and premium feel. The Cyrox V8, with a score of 81.7, delivers excellent sensor precision and value, despite some software quirks. Lastly, the BenQ Zowie FK2DW garnered a 68.9, holding its ground as a reliable, old-school pick despite lacking modern enhancements. Each product proves excellent in its right, catering to distinct gamer needs and preferences.